You're listening to The Midnight Caller. Got a story to share? You're not alone. Strange things happen after dark. Tonight's story is about a phone call from someone who shouldn't be calling anyone ever again. Have you ever gotten a call from someone who's already dead? It happened to Miguel, a night security guard at a warehouse in Bulacan. He worked the graveyard shift, and honestly, most nights were quiet. Nothing ever really happened, just cameras, coffee, and staying awake. But one night, around 12:03 a.m., the landline rang. It was weird. No one ever used it. His boss always called his cell phone, and this warehouse wasn't even listed anywhere. Still, he picked it up. At first, it was just static. Then, a soft voice on the line said, "Miggs, can you hear me?" He froze. That voice. He knew it. It sounded exactly like Anna, his ex-girlfriend. But she had died 2 years ago in a car accident. He hung up right away, heart racing. He tried to laugh it off. Maybe someone was messing with him. But the next night, at exactly 12:03 a.m., the phone rang again. This time, she said, "You were supposed to pick me up. Why didn't you come?" Now he was sure. It was Anna. He remembered that night. She had called him asking for a ride. It was raining hard. He didn't answer. He was out drinking with friends and ignored her call. She drove home alone and never made it. The phone kept ringing every night at 12:03. Her voice got clearer and angrier. "I waited. You promised you'd always be there for me." Miguel unplugged the landline. The next night, his cell phone rang. Same time, 12:03 a.m. Same number, Anna's number, the one that's been disconnected since her death. He answered once more and shouted, "Stop calling me. What do you want?" Silence. Then she whispered, "I just want to come home." That night, all the warehouse lights flickered and the cameras went black for a second. Then he heard knocking on the front door. He turned to look, and there she was, soaking wet, pale, just standing there, staring. She smiled and said, "You never opened the door before. Open it now." They found Miguel the next morning, locked inside the storage room, sitting on the floor, talking to a phone that wasn't even plugged in. He didn't come back to work after that. And the landline still rings at 12:03 a.m. That was tonight's story here on The Midnight Caller. Got chills? Good. If your phone rings after midnight, maybe don't answer. Sleep well, if you can. Welcome back to The Midnight Caller. You know, the ones who usually call are a little strange. But tonight, we're talking about an order that should never have been made. The kind of delivery you definitely don't want arriving at your doorstep at 3 a.m. And trust me, you'll want to hear this one. So, there's this guy, Kevin. Not the brightest, but he's not dumb either. Just, he does things without thinking. One night, Kevin's online scrolling through random websites and he sees a pop-up ad for the haunted delivery experience. The ad said, "Want to test your bravery? Get your hands on cursed items, delivered straight to your door. Only $19.99, guaranteed to spook you or your money back." He laughs, thinking it's some stupid marketing gimmick. But then the little voice in his head says, "Come on, it's only $20. So what does he do? He buys it. Now here's the thing. Kevin doesn't expect much. He thinks it'll just be some cheap Halloween decorations or a cursed doll with blinking eyes. Nothing too bad. It's a joke, right? But 2 days later, the doorbell rings at 3 a.m. He opens the door and there's nothing. No delivery man, no package. Kevin looks around, confused, then notices a small black box sitting on the doorstep. No label, no name. It's just there. He picks it up a little curious, but mostly annoyed because who delivers stuff at 3 a.m.? He brings the box inside, sets it on the kitchen counter, and opens it. Inside, there's a note that says, "I hope you're ready for what's inside. It's not too late to cancel." Or is it? Weird, Kevin thinks. He brushes it off and reaches in. Inside the box is a small black mirror, the kind you usually see in those horror movies, where you stare into it and then, bam, a ghost appears behind you. Kevin laughs, thinking, what kind of dumb prank is this? He holds the mirror up to his face, and for a second, just a second, he thinks he sees something move behind him. But he's not worried. Kevin's no scaredy cat. He turns around, but there's nothing, just his empty kitchen. The next few days get weird. Kevin notices things are off. Stuff's moved around in his apartment, lights flicker for no reason, and his reflection in the mirror doesn't quite match his movements. At first, he thinks he's just tired. Maybe the mirror is messing with his mind, but then he starts hearing whispers, soft like a voice behind him in the room. But when he turns around, no one's there. And it's happening every night at exactly 3 a.m. The same time the box showed up. One night, Kevin gets frustrated and tries to throw the mirror out. But when he looks at it, the reflection isn't him anymore. It's someone else, a pale figure with hollow eyes, smiling back at him. In panic, Kevin throws the mirror in the trash, and everything seems to calm down for a few days. But then, things go from weird to insanely creepy. Kevin wakes up one morning to the sound of footsteps in his kitchen. He gets up to check, thinking maybe it's his roommate, but when he looks into the kitchen, there's no one. But the door to the trash can is wide open, and the mirror, the same cursed mirror, is back on his counter. It's then that he notices something truly terrifying. The reflection in the mirror. It's not his anymore. It's a completely different person. The mirror had someone else trapped inside it, and now the mirror wants to take over his body. Kevin realizes with a sinking feeling that the delivery wasn't a prank at all. It was the start of something much worse, a curse. Whoever buys the cursed mirror gets replaced. And the figure inside the mirror? It's now wearing Kevin's face. So, ever ordered something online and thought, I'll just get it for fun? Well, Kevin's not laughing anymore. The next time you think about testing your bravery, maybe check the reviews first. And, definitely never buy a cursed mirror. Or, anything weird off the internet. Unless you like the idea of getting replaced by whoever's in your reflection. Thanks for staying with us this late. But before you go, take one last look in the mirror. Check that your reflection still follows you. And maybe, don't answer that call at 3 a.m. You've just heard the Midnight Caller, where every voice has a story, and some stories never end. Good night, sleep tight, and try not to scream.